Hi, I am Çağrı, and this is my first video. today, today I want to talk about a book that I liked, which I wasn't planning to read it, but out of nowhere I saw it, I bought it, and this book is Sol Stein's Sol Stein in German. Sol Stein Solutions for Writers, and it took my attention because a few weeks ago I finished my first book, and after finishing it I thought, I think it's not that good. It's open for improvements. And after reading this book, definitely I thought, okay, I will rewrite my book. And there was a section that which we will talk about later. And I think this section is not only about the writing books or not only about writing, it's about manifesting a character. Yes, and in this channel I don't want to talk about like book summaries, or I will not criticize books. I will just share the ideas, the words, the sentences took my attention or made me think. I don't have to agree everything I share here, or it doesn't mean that I liked, but it made me think eventually. This book I bought it in Netherlands, in Arnhem. I was traveling to visit a friend, and in Netherlands, in the bookstores, they have usually a wider selection of English books. And normally, what I like to do when I travel is buying some local books with local languages. But usually most of the time, I cannot read them, I cannot understand them. So this time, I thought maybe I should get a book that I can understand, right? And this book was my coffee friend in that day, and I had no expectations, and I had no big hopes about how to write a book, because as also in the book says, writing a book is like riding a bike. Like there are obvious rules, but when you try to do it, until you learn, it is hard. Like you cannot just say to a person who cannot ride bike, okay, just push the pedals and hold it and go straight. The hard part is doing it. And also in the book writing part is the same. Like you need to have a good story, characters, storyline, what will happen, surprise. You need to take the reader's attention into consideration. But when you try to do it, they are not just like rules. It is harder. And I experienced that by writing a not that good book, but I think it has a potential. So I thought in the bookstore, maybe I will see some stuff in this book that helped me to improve it. Which I am glad that I did that, because there was a certain chapter, and it is very important, I think, about also the life, and it is about developing a character in the book, in a story. But when we think about that, we will see, I think, It's also important for the life. And the chapter starts with a sentence that says, characters make your story. So when you have a story, you build your story on the characters. Like they will lead it, they will make it work. And then you think, okay, then how do we build characters? How do we generate them? How do we create them? And the next page, another sentence says, what we do in life is lazy. We say the first thing that comes into our heads. Which is so true. Like first when you first faced with a situation, like usually what you first want to do doesn't represent your character or you perfectly. Like if you just a little bit think, a little bit stay calm, or maybe sit, maybe take a breath, or have a sleep, eat something, then maybe you will make a completely different decision, right? And then you might think, okay, then like which one is me? Because what we do basically represents who we are, and if our reactions to a certain occasion differs that much, then which action represents our character? And in the book, we have in writing process, we don't have 3 hours to talk like a day, you know. When you meet with someone, you just sit there and for 2 hours, and basically you have 1 hour to talk, and maybe you can say few sentences that represent what you think, who you are, perfectly or in a good way. But in a book, we cannot do it. The resources are limited, the pages are limited, words are limited, the attention of the reader is limited, and you cannot just keep telling stuff about the characters, which I already had that problem before reading this book, because there is a character, there's a person you want to represent, but you want to do it quick, you want to do it without, like, with clarity. And what I tried to do was naming people according to that, which is not good, because like it's like poking someone's eyes to make them see. It's like saying, if you're an honest person, people will know it. You wouldn't keep repeat in every occasion and saying that, hey, I am an honest person. Hey, I am an honest person. If you keep say that, eventually people will think, okay, why this guy keeps telling about this? You know, like it's kind of suspicious. So when you're developing a character, also, if you keep trying to represent the features of your character, and if you do it in a not elegant way, which is like a caveman method, if you use a caveman method, me, you, that, I like, it doesn't work. And I noticed that in my book also, I, I kept reading it again and again and again and again, and usually in the good books, if you reread the book, you will just keep discovering layers about the people, about the situations. You will see, you can see you will be able to see the situation from a different perspective, or a character from a different side, because characters in a good books have depth, like us in real life. We all have depth, but in our rush in the daily life, in the also book, we just like labeling people, and we have their function, the people's function in our heads. Like, we don't see a person when we go to a coffee shop, we just see a coffee maker. He or she makes the coffee there. You don't care about his or her ideas, thoughts. What is she feeling today? What is he thinking today? What is his name? What he likes? We don't care, because like our modern life, our rush pushes us to interact with lots of people during the day, so we cannot spend the time or the energy to consider what we are communicating with is a person rather than a machine, rather than a function. And in this book, I was thinking maybe there's an answer for that problem, and there is actually, and which is called characterization through an action. What does it mean? It means, instead of you keep saying about your character that he is honest, he is tall, he is strong, or he is stupid, or this and this, you just let your characters be themselves, and their actions reveal their futures. And yes, and then maybe I can just read the paragraph directly. And he says, we individualize by seeing characters doing things and saying things, not by the author telling us about them. Don't ever stop your story to characterize. Avoid telling the character what your character is like. Let the reader see your characters talking and doing things. Why? You might think that, like, okay, the guy just says, don't keep talking, let your characters do stuff and people understand. But when you think about it, having a good character, literally, in the meaning of the word, we can have also good characters in life, especially for ourselves, talking about our characters. And I think as if we are writing, as if we are developing a character in a book, you will say something with your character, or he will do something, and what he says or does will reveal something about himself. So if we include an action or a sentence, it is a purpose. It is not just like random words, random actions. And to develop a good character, these actions and words and sentences need to be coherent, and they will represent some values, some characteristics. Okay. But then why we don't have it in our lives? Why it's our concern? It's a writer's concern only while writing a book. Why we don't try to manifest our characters through our actions or our words in our daily lives? I think it's important that you will do something after now, and it will not just be an action. It will be an opportunity to reveal or show your character to the others and to yourself. And, and when you think about it, when what you say, when what you do is suitable with your character, and if you put a significant effort to have from your point of view, a good character, then your actions and what will you say will be good too. But as I noticed, and I am guilty myself in that too, that we don't have a clear image about ourselves, about our character, about our visions, about our values, about our hopes, fears, or our hopes or goals in the life. I think it's important having a character, being a coherent person, having that unity in self. And what Sol suggests that how can we express our characteristics, how can characterize our characters. Too many characters in this episode, but he has 5 main categories which I liked, and these are true physical attributes. Secondly, their clothing. Third, their psychological attributes and manners. Fourth, true actions. And fifth, in a dialogue. So, what do they say? Their words. I think in our daily lives it's very important to have 5, at least these 5 of these, in a coherent and in a good way. I think this also comes deeply, I think we know it. For example, when I see a person that their clothing is suitable with their character, with their expressions, and when I see that harmony in that person, the way they express themselves with their clothes, I always appreciate it. Even though I think, okay, I wouldn't wear that, right? Or this is too colorful for me, and or this is too like alternative for me, you would say. But some people manage to find their styles that goes along with their character, and I like seeing that. And I always think, okay, this outfit and this stance expresses something. Maybe I understand, maybe I don't, but I think it's valuable. And we can do this characterization through action thing in all respects in our life. And I think it will solve many problems what we experience through communication or through that we face because of because we cannot express ourselves. I think everyone in their selves. Sorry for my grammar mistakes, by the way. Like I sometimes I speak like a fucking monkey, but I will fix that soon. I think every one of us have something inside that we want to express ourselves, and most of the time we don't know. And I didn't think about it also when I was trying to create a character in a book. And after a point, I thought, if I am going to spend that time, this effort, this consideration to create a fictional character, like why I don't do it for myself to begin with, right? And when you characterize yourself, your manners, your physical attributes, the way you clothe yourself, the way you dress, the way you talk, the way you act, and when they represent your character, I think you solve that issue in a certain degree about expressing yourself. Yes. I think that was it today. Already 20 minutes. I will keep talking about books. And this book, even though it was called Solutions for Writers, the characterization part took my attention, and I hope it was a nice video for you to listen while you are cooking or eating, after the day's bullshit, all that nonsense through the day, and the monkeys in the social media that keep talking, and if you just needed to hear some sane words with no pressure and with no I couldn't bring the rest. But thank you for watching the first video. I will keep talking about books. Recently I read enough, and soon I will talk about my book also. When I feel confident about it. Thank you.